What is going on, everyone? Tutorial Tim here, and today I am going to show you how to utilize Cliclick and integrate that into AppleScript. So what we have here is a comment from one of the subscribers named TechnoArgon, username TechnoArgon1 there, and he is asking about auto-clicking, and we can download a package to create those mouse events. And we're going to create a very simple example, and this is going to be a nice kind of live way where I'll kind of walk through with you how I go about implementing this by speaking my thoughts. And he wants a website to open, and he wants 1,000 clicks. I'm assuming sounds like he wants 1,000 clicks at the rate of 0.01 milliseconds, and he wants to know how we can do that on his iMac. So one thing to take into consideration with this request here is that if we go to About This Mac, you're going to need to assess the processing power and the memory you have on your computer and see if it can actually operate properly and execute those actions you're giving it at a rate that won't actually kind of that will work successfully, that will function properly, right? So that's going to be the trick here. And it'll be an individual assessment based on the type of computer you have, the Mac. And Cliclick is compatible with any Mac OS X version 10.9 or higher, and it's free, and there's a repository to view this as well. But we're going to go ahead and install it via Brew. So if you don't have Brew installed already, you're going to want to look up how to install Brew Mac OS. In order to install Brew, just go to brew.sh. And you can literally just copy this to your clipboard, go ahead and open up your terminal. And with your terminal open, you just run this command and you paste it in, hit enter. You're gonna have to type in your password. Once you have your password typed, it'll tell you what it's gonna install, and then you just hit enter and it will install it. And essentially in my case, I already have it installed, so it may have just updated it for me. And we're going to go ahead and once you have that installed, you may have to, what we're going to do next is go ahead and install ClickClick. So the command to install that is brew install ClickClick. And you can see that it's running a bunch of operations there, getting ready to install it. And it will tell you whether it's been installed or not. And one way to identify whether it's been installed is we can go ahead and add the -h flag here, this argument right here, and it will allow us to see the documentation that is also displayed in the repository. So here is some documentation how to use this, and it has a bunch of functionality. So it gives you the ability to restore the initial mouse location, things of that nature. I'm going to be going over some very basic operations integrated with AppleScript. So what we're going to do is, now that we have this installed in our terminal, we can type in click space -h, and this basically lets me verify whether this has been installed or not. And you can see that it has, because it's listing out all of the commands here. And if it didn't have it installed, it'd tell you that that command is not supported. It would return a new line stating that. And here we go. We have all of these options here to click. So I'm going to show you the basic way to grab coordinates on your screen. And I'm going to show you this way, and then I'll show you how they do it on this website. So how do you get these coordinates? That is an important question to identify. So on your Mac, if you use the shortcut key Control-Shift-Command-4, you'll notice that I have the ability to take screenshots, right? But we're not using this shortcut keys, this command, to generate a screenshot. We want the coordinates. So you see these numbers here. These numbers are our coordinates that we're going to be typing into our script. And these coordinates will be different dependent upon the type of computer you have. So you can't just type the coordinates I have on your computer, especially if it's if it's like a MacBook Pro, the resolution's different than the iMac I have. So that's something important to note there. You'll have to do this and evaluate your coordinates yourself. And there is an example as well, if you can't get your coordinates working, where in the documentation it tells you it gives you a simple demonstration. So if we go ahead and copy this, so see it's specifying ClickClick, and it's saying activate ClickClick and then execute the C command. So the C command clicks at the point with the given coordinates, the C, and then it gives the X and Y coordinates, 2811, so the X coordinates and then the Y coordinates. And then it specifies the wait time in milliseconds, so this is 500 milliseconds. So you could just change that to 100 or 010 to make it 0.01 milliseconds, which is extremely fast. And it also allows you to, here we have another parameter called W, which the wait time again. And then we have an M parameter, which we can look up, which will move the mouse to the point with the given directions. And all we're going to do is we're going to use a command. There's a double click that we're going to utilize. So we're going to specify this double click here. So with this execution, it gives you a breakdown of ClickClick. So if we go ahead and copy this and then paste it, you'll notice that it literally clicks system information for us. And it gave us all the proper wait times, which is awesome. So we activated ClickClick, gave it the coordinates to press the Apple, and then we made it wait 500 milliseconds, and then it clicked on the system preferences, and then it waited 1,000 milliseconds and selected about this Mac, and then opened the system profiler. And then it clicked the current position in the current mouse position, and then it finally finished releasing the Alt key. So you have the ability to dive deep here. So what we're going to do here is open up our AppleScript to kind of go ahead and start to implement what the request is. So he wants to open up a web browser and then click 1,000 times. So this should be fairly easy. So I'm going to go ahead and save this in my Apple scripting repository, which you can find on GitHub. So if we go to GitHub, I'm going to have this uploaded by the time this video's up. You can go to Tutorial Tim, and there'll be a video here that just is the name of this video. It'll be a folder you can access and download the script and open up that in your script editor. So now that we have this, I'm going to label it using ClickClick. And then I'm going to go ahead and say tell application, double quotes, system events, and then specify endtel, because this is inside of system events. This is where we're going to be writing our key codes and keystrokes. And then I'm going to go ahead and say tell application Google Chrome to open a new window. Whoops, I wrote something wrong. I'm getting some syntax incorrect. Oh, to activate. Whoops. To activate. Okay. Addressing some syntax there, and long story short, here some scripts to reference. And the best way to go about creating scripts, especially if you're going to be creating one from scratch without my guidance and you're new to this and you're kind of lost, if you type in 3 dashes, you can type in so this is a comment. So we want to open web browser, and then what are the next steps? Well, the next step is to click URL, and then there's going to be a delay, add delay. So with that, we'll probably specify the delay within the ClickClick command, since our request was to have the time specified in milliseconds. And we can go ahead and just start with this, right? So we've already gotten the web browser open. Let's see if we can get it to open a new window. Let's see if this syntax is correct. Okay, that's incorrect. So I'm just going to Google that, find that answer real quick. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay, we could say make new window. I know there's an alternative syntax for this, so let's go ahead and find that. Let's see. Okay, well that wasn't much help. We can go ahead and select make new window. See if that, yep, okay. Add a delay there of 1 second, and I'm gonna go ahead and just run this. So it should activate Google Chrome. Then it didn't open a new window. So that was incorrect. So next step is going to be, we're just going to go ahead and skip that and go ahead and utilize the ClickClick package because we're going to want to open Google Chrome and maybe have this, just click here and then hit enter. So we already know what enter is. So we could add a delay here if we wanted, or specify in ClickClick. And I'm going to go ahead and just do 0.1 or 0.5. You can modify the timing as needed. This already opens up the web browser. So that's good to go. We open the web browser. We add a delay. Go ahead, copy and paste that over here. Kind of structure that a bit. And then once the web browser is open, click address bar. And then maybe just get it to click off address bar. It's just this extremely simple script, you guys, everyone. So just showcasing to you the principles of how to specify coordinates, and then you can go from there and do what you need. So next we need to click the address bar, right? So on my browser right now, if I go here, I hit Control-Shift-Command-4, I can grab those coordinates there, and the coordinates seem to be 754.80. I can use that. So if I go ahead and type in ClickClick, I repaste that there, and type in DC, and then type in 754.80, and I hit enter, it's going to select my address bar. You see, it selected the address bar. And maybe I want it selected it on the left side of the address bar. Control-Shift-Command-4. That's 254.80. So I can go ahead and type in ClickClick in my terminal. DC stands for double click, as you can see here in the documentation. If we go ahead and look for that, it will, if we search for DC, there it is. We'll double click at the point with the given coordinates. And then colon 250.80, hit enter. It'll click on the left side here, as you can see, whereas this command 754.80 clicks towards the right side because we specified that. So there you go. Now we want to click off of the address bar. We can go ahead and just click here. So I'm going to get the coordinates of here, and that's 1064, 369. So 369, and then 1064, and that will click there, and it clicks there. So I'm going to go ahead and move my mouse, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter again. It moves it back up there. So now we have this combination of elements that we can use to our advantage to create some powerful scripts. And just one thing to note, you could go ahead and do everything that AppleScript has to offer through this package. I'm just combining a bit of both because I'm lazy, but I don't use this that often. But you can really utilize all of this and replicate everything AppleScript has to offer as well, or you can combine both. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my script editor here, and one thing we need to utilize is we need to activate the terminal as well, right? So how do we do that? We already opened up Google Chrome. I'm going to go ahead and tell my terminal to activate. That is the most critical thing that needs to happen. Tell terminal to activate. Terminal activates. And then we can actually just run these two sequences in a line as a set of commands, as referenced here in this piece of documentation, right? So you can get it to execute and wait, and execute again, wait, execute again, wait, execute again. So all we have to do is type ClickClick, so ClickClick, and we can copy and paste some of these commands. So ClickClick, and then DC : 25080, so it's going to click on the left of the address bar. 25080, we got that specified. And then space W for wait. We could specify 500 milliseconds, and then space again. And then we just want to type in DC : and it's going to click on the right side of the address bar, 754,80. And then we're going to have it wait again and specify a wait time of 500 milliseconds. Go ahead and add the double click again, and then specify 1064,369. So now we have all of our coordinates specified. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this line. And you notice that you may not even need AppleScript in the future, which is great. You could just utilize this ClickClick package. And what I'm going to do is, now that the terminal has been activated, I'm going to type in keystroke. And then, oopsie, I typed keystroke wrong. Keystroke this. And then it'll type that into the terminal, and then I'm going to add a tiny delay there, and then key code 36, because that is the key code for hitting enter or return. But I'm sure you could just specify what key you could type in. You can make it press the key instead. Let's do that. Enter. So KP : there. And then we're going to specify a wait time of 500 here, and then type in KP : enter was the syntax there. It says enter. This will emulate pressing a key. And I think we're golden, but I just realized in our script at the end it clicks on the white space here in the search. So maybe we want it to go back. So let's make it go back to the address bar. So we're going to have it wait. And then we're going to specify another set of clicks, and we're just going to specify 250,80, and then specify one more wait time of 500, and then specify the key press, the KP : enter. So with that, I just need to copy that. Once that's copied, go to my AppleScript, go and modify that string there, and paste it in there. So now I have these commands, and I don't have all of them. I just realized I didn't copy what I needed. So if I go ahead and grab that and just modify the string here in quotations, is there are all those characters, and I can go ahead and hit run now. So what's going to happen now is if I hit my terminal, ideally if I press play or run, it'll open up Google Chrome, go to this window, and then activate this terminal, and then it'll click on the left side of the address bar, and then the right side. It'll wait 500 milliseconds in between those two sets of double clicks, and then it'll wait again, click in the white space here in the browser, it'll wait 500 milliseconds, and then it'll click back on the address bar and then hit enter, and then it's going to reload the page. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to hit, but one thing we need to do is we actually need to clear our terminal. So if you hit Control U, that'll clear your terminal. Hit enter a couple of times. I'm going to hit Command K to clear the history there. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit play. See, it's hit the white space, clicks back, and then it hits enter. So we just got our AppleScript to execute all of those mouse events. Now, the last step to this guy's request on Twitter is if we go to notifications here, he wants it to click 1,000 times. And in the AppleScript, you could do that. Or if we go ahead and look at the ClickClick help, type in ClickClick-H, it'll give us the documentation to see if it has a command to repeat itself. So can we get this to repeat? at first glance, I can't see it. I don't see that affordance there, so I'm just going to go ahead and just loop that into I'm going to put that into a repeat. There's some syntax in AppleScript where it says you could type in repeat 4 times, and then I can type in end repeat at the very bottom. So if I press it, you'll see I can specify how many times I want this to run. And you could just type in 1,000 here to execute it 1,000 times, but I do not want to wait 1,000 times. So, but one thing to take into consideration is we might want to, after hitting enter in the terminal, clear that action as it repeats. But so I can go ahead and go back to this browser page, and then if it clicks and it hits enter, I can get it to delay. Well, it'll hit enter, and then, okay, we'll be good to go, because when the interaction occurs, it resets the entry in this terminal, in the shell. So if I go ahead and press play, it'll mimic all those actions again in the terminal, and it'll do it again. You'll notice we came across that issue I was wary of. It's still executing it, which is interesting, but it did it in a messed up manner. But these are issues you'll come across when you start to kind of run these scripts and whatnot. But for the purposes of this video, this covers everything you need to know in regards to that request on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you need any other videos, let me know in the comment section below if I haven't gotten to it already. And I'll catch you in the next one.